live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A local graduate's honored with a special award. The RVC student praised for his engagement with the on-campus veteran community.
Storms roll through the Stateline early this morning. The heat quickly climbs behind them. Conditions could be dangerous as we head into Thursday.
And the local Boys and Girls Club's the recipient of a successful class project. High school students put newly learned building skills to the test. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. We are going to feel the heat around here for the next couple of days. Our heat index already hit triple digits. That's caused the Rockford Park District to cancel youth flag football for the evening.
And let's head back out to Candace. A heat advisory is being issued for tomorrow. Isn't that right, Candace?
Yeah, we do have that heat advisory that has been issued for a portion of the area, southern Wisconsin, and for north central, northwest Illinois. For Whiteside County, that advisory already in effect, but for most of us, that goes into effect for tomorrow. Already, guys, this afternoon, that heat index has climbed into the triple digits in a couple of spots, and I think area-wide for tomorrow, we are going to see that. So that heat advisory goes into effect for tomorrow afternoon, and for some, it will actually run until Friday evening, as Friday is still looking to be another hot one out there. Our peak heat index numbers here as we look through Thursday, Friday, those will range anywhere from about 99 to 100 degrees up to 105 for both Thursday and Friday. So just make sure that you are using that caution, heat precautions too, as we look at the potential for some heat-related illnesses, especially with little improvement in those overnight low temperatures. Now, as you guys mentioned, the temperatures have heated up here this afternoon. Those numbers climbing. We hit that 90-degree mark and that heat index here in Rockford reaching 100, but for some, it has gone over that just a little bit this afternoon. So it is a very, very muggy Wednesday evening, and that is actually going to stay with us. Some good news, dew point temperatures may drop just a little here as we look into the afternoon tomorrow. Some of that heat fueling quite a bit of thunderstorm activity early this morning. Widespread wind damage reports across southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and high wind reports too, with a pretty intense line of thunderstorms as those moved through. You noticed it just after sunrise, the sun went away and it got dark as the heavy rainfall and the wind started to pick up. We have been quiet throughout this afternoon. Now that those storms have passed, there is still a small potential. We may see an isolated thunderstorm. This would primarily be east and northeast of Rockford, so we're kind of looking at a little more to eastern Boone County, McHenry County, and then out closer to Chicago. So we're going to keep a close eye on the radar here for this evening, but I think a lot of us are just going to stay warm and dry for the night tonight. Now, most of our Thursday is expected to stay dry, but we do have that potential for some thunderstorm skies to roll back in with the heat again Friday evening. So we'll look a little more into those numbers specifically for tomorrow, how many 90-degree days we have, the heat index, and that thunderstorm chance too going into the weekend. That is all coming up here in the First Warn forecast a little later.
Thanks, Candace. We'll see you in a bit. Some communities are cleaning up after those storms slammed the state line this morning. This is what it looked like on Briar Lane in Rockford. That's near North Main and Riverside. Wind snapped tree branches. Some landed in the street. Others were thrown around the neighborhood. Our cameras caught one homeowner trying to figure out how to get a large branch off his roof. Love's Park Fire says it responded to 14 calls related to the storm. Most were for downed trees or wires. No serious injuries were reported. Many people still don't have power from that storm. At its peak, about 6,500 customers had no electricity in Winnebago County. Right now, it's down to just under 3,000. In Boone County, the numbers are much lower, about 270 homes and businesses without power. ComEd says it's working on the lines and hopes to get to everyone by tonight. A local college graduate gets a special award.
Our Nicole Delgado was at Rock Valley College for the ceremony. And Nicole, what was this award for?
Eric, Mimi, it's for the Illinois Student Veteran of the Year Award, and it's the only one of its kind in the state, and it recognizes student veterans for their dedication and engagement to the college and the community. And this year, Rock Valley grad Ryan Russell is the definition of that. I'm told he's part of several activities and sits on different boards and takes an active part in what is happening in the community, and his dedication making him stand out among 24 nominees.
Well, it's important to be able to recognize the things that Ryan have done, because we recognize our veterans for their service while they're in uniform, but veterans bring a unique perspective once they get out of uniform or are still serving in the reserves based on their experience, And veterans want to continue their service when they are no longer in uniform. And Ryan is an example of how that happens.
Ryan is a Byron High School graduate, and after his military contract, he's now finishing the Air National Guard. We'll hear more from him coming up at 6. Eric?
Thanks, Nikel. We now know the name of the Freeport teenager killed in a weekend crash. Freeport police say Jaden Horton was behind the wheel of the stolen truck. The crash happened Saturday night. Investigators say the 16-year-old had just driven off after he was confronted by the truck's owner. The truck left the road near South Walnut and West Lamb Roads and hit a tree head-on. Horton was ejected. He died at the scene. No one else was inside. A
Freeport man's arrested in connection to a fatal crash in March. On March 30th, a traffic crash happened near North Davis and East Walnut Grove Road. The incident resulted in the death of a man named Daniel Fry. Darian Wheeler was served with a felony arrest warrant. He was already in the Stevenson County Jail on other charges. Wheeler is charged with aggravated DUI accident involving death. His bond is set at $1 million.
Ogle County Sheriff's deputies arrest a Morrison man for sexually abusing a child. Jason Endress has been charged with aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Investigators looked into claims he had illegal sexual contact with a minor in rural Oregon. 44-year-old Endress was taken to the Ogle County Jail Tuesday. He was scheduled to appear in court today.
Pro-life advocates rally at major intersections in Rockford. Volunteers with the Pro-Life Action League and Rockford Family Initiative set today aside to protest against abortion. Organizers say the rallies are in response to last year's Supreme Court ruling on the Dobbs case. That case decided that the Constitution didn't give women the right to have an abortion. Abortions are still legal in Illinois, but pro-life advocates hope that with their signs, people change their minds.
We know that when people can see with their own eyes what abortion actually does to an unborn child, what that procedure means for an unborn child, they turn against abortion. Even if they will still vote for a pro-choice candidate or say abortion should be legal, they're much less likely to want to participate in abortion once they've seen it.
Rockford currently has one abortion clinic open on Auburn Street, with a second facility scheduled to open later this year.
Local Boys and Girls Club members give back to the community. It's a partnership with ComEd's Tools of the Trade program. That program is 7 weeks long. It exposes high school students to trade skills and utility work. 30 participants will work alongside their mentors to build 50 twin-sized bed frames for kids in need. Boys and Girls Club executives say the program puts young people on a path to future opportunities.
We're always invested in the club members that we have, seeking careers that provide a chance for them to become good community citizens. So any skills that they can develop, the OSHA certificate, the tools, access to tools, those kinds of things. We're always very excited to provide career readiness and workforce readiness for our kids.
Another Tools of the Trade event is scheduled for tomorrow in Chicago.
Hunter Biden appears before a Delaware court.
Up next, a judge's decision changes Biden's plea and leaves the charges against him up in the air.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Hunter Biden does not plead guilty to misdemeanor tax evasion charges as expected.
The plea deal, which many deemed too lenient, was ultimately denied by the judge after nearly 3 hours. Without the deal, Biden wasn't able to plead guilty and instead entered a not guilty plea to misdemeanor tax and gun charges. The case is the first time in U.S. history the Justice Department's brought charges against the son of a sitting president. And a scary moment for Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
While taking questions from the press, the Republican leader seemingly went silent. He froze up while looking out at reporters. Fellow Republicans grabbed a hold of the senator and ushered him away from the podium. Minutes later, Senator McConnell returned and started taking questions, appearing to be his normal self. One of the senator's aides said he felt lightheaded, but insisted the senator was fine. After some strong storms rolled through this morning, temps climbed quickly.
Candace is live with the weather. She'll tell us how high our temperatures will climb tomorrow and a recent heat advisory that's coming up.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, good evening. Welcome back. We have taken our weather outside. Thankfully, the weather has cooperated, although I will say it is a little toasty out here, and I think a couple folks behind me will be able to attest to that as well. Thankfully, the thunderstorms have kind of held off, at least for late this afternoon. Now, we may still see an isolated thunderstorm develop, but it is Wednesday, and of course, it is weather in your backyard. And we've decided to take our weather over downtown Rockford here in Midtown. A beautiful evening, a little warm, but we've got some nice shade overhead. And standing next to me here is Brad Roos. And, you know, you had kind of a hand in what went on here with this building as we're up top of Katie's Cup down here in downtown Rockford. And I know you guys have a lot of things that you're working on here in the future to kind of help redevelop a little bit of this area. So tell me a little more about that.
Well, this building is the Lanto Lofts Condo Association and Lanto Lofts. Katie's Cup is on the first floor. Mm-hmm. It used to be the Lanto Pharmacy, so this is a three-generation building owned by that had been owned by the Lanto family. We began renovations here through Zion Development in about 2006, finished in 2008, and then my wife and I moved in on December 19th, 2008, so we've been here about 15 years.
Wow. Very nice.
Yes.
And I know you've got some stuff kind of, you know, going on that you wanted to kind of bring attention to a little bit within this area, kind of things that you guys are working on a little bit.
Well, my grandsons asked me what would I do, you know, if I wanted to kind of save the planet.
Sure.
And that's why we developed this building, I mean, with the idea that it would be one of the most sustainable buildings in the county. And we won an award for that, actually, to be one of the most sustainable buildings in the county.
Awesome.
So we, of course, reused the building, and there are an awful lot of sustainability elements in the building, including solar panels on the roof that heat our hot water through thermal conduction.
Sure.
And in addition to that, when we moved in, when Zion Development bought this building, it was crime-ridden, and there were problems in the neighborhood. Within 3 years of everybody moving in, the crime went to zero.
Sure.
So that's what happens when people move in and just kind of take control.
Yes.
So we've got great restaurants in the neighborhood now. We're really proud to see Ernie's Midtown Pub here.
Sure.
Got some great murals in the neighborhood. And the Midtown Faust building, which is, I'm part of that as well, has brought in a pottery shop, and that potter has tripled his business in just since February.
Awesome.
And also the Liam Foundation has put their offices in here too as well. We've got an awning that needs replacement though, so we're going to launch a GoFundMe page for that.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, we'll look for a little more information on that, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to kind of cool off a little bit too, standing underneath
Cooling
that.
off is a good idea.
That is important. That's
Good
right.
idea.
Yeah, but those solar panels, those will be able to be in pretty good use here, I think, with some of the heat. Well, Brett, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me. I know you've got the food from Salamoni's that arrived a while ago, so I'll let you go and enjoy that. Thank you so much. You're welcome. All right. Well, we've got some heat to talk about too. A lot of sunshine out there. We've got the heat index tomorrow that'll range up to 105 degrees. Temperatures right now in the upper 80s, low 90s. Now that heat advisory goes into effect for tomorrow. That means if you spend any prolonged period of time outdoors, could become a little dangerous, especially with tomorrow and Friday with that. Now Friday, there are some thunderstorms that could move through. Some of those could be strong to severe, and we're looking towards late afternoon and evening. But guys, by the weekend, things will look a little more comfortable. Temperatures will be back down into the lower 80s. Tonight, we are down to about 69 degrees. Tomorrow, we are up to 96, peak heat index value up to 105. Could be the same on Friday. A few isolated thunderstorms early Saturday, drying out though for Sunday. I think Sunday will be a very comfortable day to get out, not dealing too much with that humidity. If you would like your chance to win weather in your backyard, all you have to do is go on to mystateline.com/weather and click on that weather in your backyard tab and have some fabulous food here from Salamoni's. Eric and Mimi, I'm going to toss it back over to you.
It's like a great place at the top of that building for a party.
Very nice.
Candace, thanks.
Scott's next with sports.
The Chicago Bears have their first training camp practice under their belts, and one Bear has a big new contract.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
The Bears training camp got off to a bit of a slow start today in Lake Forest. The guys were forced to practice indoors because of smoke from Canada and because of the rain. So they put the Walter Payton Center to good use. And Justin Fields had some good connections with DJ Moore. Moore hauled in one exceptional touchdown catch. The receiver who had the best day, though, was tight end Cole Kmet. He got a 4-year contract extension worth $50 million. Kmet led the Bears in receptions and receiving yards last year. He's a blessed guy.
This whole thing, just from the beginning, has been a dream come true, getting drafted here first, and being able to get an extension done and agree to terms on that is amazing. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to the things to come with it, and many playoff appearances and Super Bowls to come.
Well, we know Jordan Love can handle a bike. He rode a youngster's wheels to the practice field for the Packers' first workout. But can Love handle the Packers' offense? The coming weeks will tell. Love knows all eyes are on him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of responsibility that comes with the position. But yeah, like you say, the eyes being on you, that's something that I'm working on right now, just trying to block out. I'm just trying to have my focus be on what I'm working on that day, what I'm focusing on that day, so I can have all my focus on that, just kind of block out any distractions.
Big Ten football was the topic in Indianapolis today at the Big Ten Media Days. Northwestern drew far more interest than usual because of the recent hazing scandals at the school. Northwestern's players did not attend today's event. Interim head coach David Braun had to deal with reporters on his own.
And our guys right now in that facility are going through a lot. And we have an opportunity to either run from that or an opportunity to truly stare that adversity in the face, stare it down, and go attack this opportunity to make this fall an incredible story that truly embodies what this team's all about.
The crosstown series between the Cubs and White Sox continues tonight with Game 2. The Cubs won last night, of course, 7-3, thanks to 4 home runs and a great catch by Seiya Suzuki. Tonight's pitchers will be Marcus Stroman and Lance Lynn. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Well, we are having a good time here for our Wednesday weather edition of Weather in Your Backyard, although weather on your rooftop. A little toasty out there. Might see some sweat beads coming down my face. Temperatures tonight down around 69. Still keeping a very close eye on radar, especially to the east of us for a few thunderstorms. Those may still be possible, but I think majority of us are going to stay dry here as we go through this evening. I know we didn't get to that 7-day forecast during Maine weather, so here it is. 69 tonight, 96 tomorrow. Heat index as high as 105. That heat advisory going into effect for most of us, including Winnebago County here tomorrow afternoon. 95 with a chance for some strong thunderstorms Friday evening. A little more comfortable next week.
We'll look forward to that. All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.